Hello, this is Heather of Shutterbug 101. Today we'll be discussing another part in a series of Panasonic's features going over the 4K photo burst. Let's get started. If you are keeping up to date on my videos, a couple weeks ago I did release the 1-point color feature on the Panasonic cameras. Today we are going over the 4K photo burst. So unlike a regular photo burst that you would find on other cameras, which this camera does have as well on top of the 4K photo burst, is when you use a regular continuous burst on any other camera or this camera, you click and you hold that button down and you hear click, 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 as it continually takes pictures. As long as you have your finger pressed down on the shutter button, it's going to continue to take pictures until it's reached its limit or the memory card needs to save all of those. It can't process anymore. When it comes to a regular photo burst, you then have to go through every single picture. So say you take a picture of someone kicking a soccer ball and you hold it down for a solid 30 seconds. If your camera takes pictures at 10 frames per second, that's 300 pictures that you now have to go through just to pick one or two that turned out the best, which means you have to go through, delete, 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 all 298 of the other ones, which is ridiculous. What Panasonic offers is a 4K photo burst. What this essentially is the camera taking a 60 frame video clip, as long as you have that button held down, and separating it into frames for you. So what we're going to go through here in a moment is some clips that I've already taken. Now, a lot of people will accidentally hit this feature. It can be a shortcut button. It all depends on the Panasonic model that you have, but it'll be a button that has 4K and multiple frames on it, which I'll show you here in a moment when we take a close look at the camera. When you have 4K burst turned on and you take multiple bursts and then you immediately try to put it into your computer, you're just going to get a bunch of video files because that's what 4K photo burst is. But put the card back into the camera, you can then access, which I'll show you here in a moment, the playback button. You can access that video file, go through each picture, and then select the 1, 2, 3, however many in that sequence you want as a still, click save, and then you can just delete the video clip. So instead of having to delete 298 pictures out of the 300 you took on a regular burst, now you can just save one and delete the photo clip. It saves you a whole lot of time and it's so easy. But like I said, that when it comes to the 4K photo burst, rather than people being able to learn about it because it's something that's very unique to the Panasonic brand, they end up finding about it in a different way, like accidentally hitting it and then having all these video clips and then they don't know what to do about it and then it's frustrating. And the same thing happens with post focus mode, which we'll go over in a separate video. So just know that the 4K photo burst has really cool pros to it, but if you accidentally access it, just know that if you click and hold that button down or you click and hold the button and you're not hearing a click or you're not seeing it actually take a still picture rather than a video, then you may need to check your settings because that 4K photo burst can be easy to accidentally turn on. Which again, because the Panasonic cameras are so customizable, you can turn that shortcut on the outside of the camera off if you're afraid to access it on accident. So I actually got my husband an axe throwing session for Christmas, so he treated me to go axe throwing with him, which was nice. I told him, you're totally not to take me, take a friend, whatever, and we had a blast. And I thought, what a great opportunity to use the 4K photo burst mode. So we're gonna go ahead and focus right in on the camera here. I'm gonna show you the video clip that it saves and how to break it down in camera to save the photos. Let's go. So for the 4K photo burst example, I actually used the Panasonic FC300, which is a great little bridge camera, probably one of our best sellers at the shop just because of all of its features for the price. And with this specific model, let me go ahead and rotate the screen. On this model here, you can access the 4K photo burst by pushing down on the directional pad. As you can see here, we have the 4K with the continuous frames there. So if I go back to the play button here, we did a couple clips because naturally this is our first time axe throwing, so we weren't great at first. So it took a couple tries just to get the hang of it. But when you press your playback button, you'll know that it's a 4K burst clip because it has the little 4K symbol right here. And most of the Panasonics right now are touchscreens, so if you have an older model, you may need to access this a different way, but through touchscreen, you just hit the 4K burst on the screen. It's gonna load up there, and it's going to open it up frame by frame. Now, I started this early because I wanted to get the whole transition, but as you can see, I got axe going behind his head there, and the throw. Oh, so because I did a extra long clip, if I want to see more of that clip, you just go ahead and push the arrow there. It's going to load the rest of those and kind of jumps forward. You see the axe is already in the board. So I can go back and see the whole transition from behind the head, through the air, hitting the board, which is pretty darn cool. So if I wanted that still shot of him, like, okay, I want it right behind the head, I want to save that one. So to save that one, you hit your menu/set button and you will save this image, yes. And then maybe I want another one with it flying through the air here, so maybe that one there, it's kind of up in the air. Sure, I'll save that one. And then another one of it hitting the board here. And yes, perfect. So now, if I hit my back button, because you can see here the FN3 on this camera, the Q menu, the trash, and the back button. That's going to bring me back to the playback here. And then if I go forward, notice that this one doesn't have the 4K burst symbol. This is just the regular picture. So this is the first picture I saved, second picture I saved, third picture I saved. It's all very simple. And then if I no longer want this clip anymore, because I've already saved the pictures I want out of it, you can just hit the trash can here, or you can hit the trash can here, and you can then go ahead and delete this single clip, delete multiple items on the playback, or delete all the pictures, which for now I'm going to hold on to this. But there you go. That's 4K photo burst for you. I did this naturally by popular request. If you guys have other requests from other cameras, other models, the post focus feature is going to come next, so you'll see how that feature works as well. Another feature that is unique to the Panasonic cameras. Or if you have other questions about the 4K photo burst, please let me know in the comments below. I'm happy to answer any of those for you. And just a reminder that if you do accidentally access this 4K photo burst, you can always, if I get back into photo taking mode here, you can always push down and make sure that it's on that single square for single picture taking if you don't want to burst or video files. Now, if you've gone on vacation and now you have a bunch of video files that you now have to go through your camera and select stills of now, I recommend picking out a nice movie, getting some popcorn, finding a nice comfortable seat on the couch, and going through the camera and saving your pictures. As frustrating as that can be, you'll then know and remember what the 4K photo burst is for the future. Hopefully this video has helped you and inspired you and made you want to try new things with your Panasonic camera that maybe you did not know it did. And again, if you guys have any questions, leave me a comment below and I'll see you next time. Keep your eye out for inspiration, Shutterbugs. Bye.